highlighting our wonderful community. That's what we're all about. So we've got to bring in Travis Williams, and he's the Vice President of Operations and Impact at Lyft Jacksonville. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Man, just going over some notes and talking to you, I just feel so energized talking about our community and your roots here and this transformation that's about to undergo. So what drives you to strive to have that positive impact here in Jacksonville?
Yeah, so for me, servant leadership is kind of my mantra for life. And being a servant first and leading as a person of faith, that's extremely important to me, to serve the community well and serve with excellence. There's this concept called marketplace ministry as a Christian, where we go into the marketplace and serve like crazy, but we do it with the excellence. And so that's what drives me every day. Work, community, home, is to serve and serve well.
Yeah, and you have your roots here in Jacksonville, and as a local, and we don't hear that as much anymore, why do you feel that's so important now with these relationships?
Yeah, so I am a Jacksonville native, born and raised here. I'm a fourth generation East Sider, as we call it, so from the historic East Side neighborhood. And there's proximity, there's passion, there's knowledge that natives have to the community. You don't have to convince us to love Jacksonville, right? I love Jacksonville. My family's been here since the early 1900s. And so having that love and that passion, that knowledge of the neighborhood, being as comfortable walking down A. Philip Randall or Florida Avenue, as we called it growing up, I'm as comfortable there as I am in a boardroom in one of these big buildings downtown. And natives bring that passion to their work. They truly love the community. You don't have to convince them to love the community. So that comes across in the work.
You have all your beautiful family pictures of your grandparents, your uncles, they're all from here. So that makes a big difference. And tell us how that goes into Lyft JAX. We know about how important it is, how passionate you are, but things to address, for instance, the poverty in Jacksonville's East Side. How are you helping with that?
Yeah, so communities like the East Side have struggled, right? There are reasons why that struggle has been there, but Lyft JAX is really coming in as a partner and coming in to work with the community. Okay. So Lyft JAX is a group of business, civic leaders coming together. And the difference is that work with. A lot of times, folks like us and the folks we bring to the table, for good reasons, really make communities nervous because they have remnants of communities like Brooklyn and others. And so Lyft JAX has developed or brought this purpose-built model, this national model, to really come in and work with community leaders, right? To find the things that are important to them and to be a partner with them, and have the leading business and civic leaders really follow their lead. And so the East Side was the community that we approached because there were established community leaders in the neighborhood who've been doing the work for a long time. And we're trying to bring in the resources that the folks have on our board and steering committee and marry them with the established community leaders. So we're doing something that the community can get behind and the community supports. And in many ways, the community leads and not outsiders coming in and leading the work. And so that framework is different, and we're trying to do something very different in Jacksonville.
Yeah, actually remembering those local roots is what I'm getting out of this. Remembering those local roots, having those relationships, and helping the future be transformed in a way that folks will recognize and be proud. Yeah, this is my home, and boy, look how far we've come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, folks like my grandparents, my grandfather was a very community-based guy. I want to build a neighborhood that remembers him, that if he were alive, he'd be proud of. And even the folks today, the folks like the Don Curlings, the Dana Millers, the Pastor Harry Williams in the neighborhood, who's my uncle, or even the Suzanne Pickett's, who's the president of the historic East Side CDC. Those local community leaders, we know that there's better, and we want to make the neighborhood better. But we can do better with the leaders and the folks that are there, and not just bringing in better, saying, okay, we need new folks in. And so there's a mixture that needs to happen. There's an improvement that needs to happen, but we can do it with and not to. And that's the transformation that we're excited about.
Okay, and you're one of the busiest men in Jacksonville. You've worked on so many initiatives, been working on so many projects. What are you proud of that you've worked on, and where are you heading?
Yeah, so Jacksonville is on the cusp, I think, of something really great. And for me, it's the newness of some of the strategies and things that we're trying to implement. And so whether it's to work with the Lewis and White initiative with the Chamber, that I get a chance to co-chair that advisory board. That's the first time the Chamber is doing something very pointed and strategic to provide resources and bigger contracts to minority and black-owned Black-owned businesses in Jacksonville. And so we're addressing some things that are really important with initiatives like that and things like Lift JAX as well. And so I'm excited about the newness of this bringing together folks at the table who may have never been at the table together, and having some very pointed conversations about how do we fix some of the issues that have bothered our community. And so I'm excited about the transformation that some of these initiatives and the potential they have to really make Jacksonville that bold city that we've been working to make it for a while.
All right, so we can say bold city of the South with emphasis now, Travis. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you. And of course, head to our website for more on this and the transformation. That's firstcoastliving.net.